save. What's up, guys? Can you see me? Can you hear me? How are we looking? Did have some slight technical difficulties getting things up and running today. It seems like all is working. I can see my audio levels. You guys say hi, smash that like button. Let's get ready for another session, a chart mastery, another live stream. Took a couple of days off from streaming. Took the weekend off from trading. Just kind of wanted to regroup and reset a little bit. I was in like really good short and I closed it out early. And it got chopped out a little bit, so I decided to take some little time to myself. And looks like we got a little bit of a lag on the camera. Let me adjust that real quick. Now we do, right, we got some movement in the markets, and this is going to be just like any other chart mastery session. Cover BTC, Ether, S&P, QQQ, a little bit of all of it. And yeah, bear with me, bull with me. Show you guys some charts, some projections, some what I'm seeing. We got big movement on Luna this week, right? This weekend, today. All right. What I'd like to do is I want to start with ETH because that's one thing I've been trading pretty actively. So today's order is going to be Ether, BTC, ES, NQ, so S&P, QQQ. Then we'll take any altcoin requests you guys have, and then I'll call it. What's up, Cooley? Look at ETH USD. Did put out a short signal today. There's really two key levels we want to look at, right? And yeah, we're seeing an up movement, but it's fueled by Janet Yellen's leaked email, right? And one thing I've learned with this administration is that you can't really bet on them to do anything right? Everything they put their hands on is turned into poop, right? Like, so I don't see that tweets, right, that leak as being a bullish catalyst because it's news, man. I think it's a bull trap. I think this is a bull trap. I still see this wedge that I published on last week, right? It's supposed to be a 5. Cooley, man, good chart you sent me on Luna, man. That was really good, and we'll cover that too. And I'm really not surprised what the chart's doing on Luna, right? I should have been a little more proactive on that dip, but I still have some of my original long open, so I wasn't like too stressed about it. I'm looking at ETH, right? I still see this wedge lacking a movement to E, which will put us at like 19 down in this range, right? 1857 to 2096. Like a big wick down, kind of like what we saw over here. We're still not there yet. The reason I signaled a short today, I posted two charts, right? The larger time frame one and the smaller time frame one. It looks like we're retesting that larger time frame, 61.8, right? 2769, and ideally, we want to see the chart come back down. If it's going to pull back, I think it's going to pull back off here, right? Like 2769, and then a little bit more of a steeper pullback, right? And we kind of break through support. That's what I'd like to see. That's what I'd like to see. Am I prepared for either scenario? Yeah. But I think this is going to be the most ideal to complete this wave E, A, B. And this would be C, G, and then we get wave E, and then we can long here, ride it up, and forget about it, right? That's why I really want this to play out, because it has structure, and it's something that I can trade, right? As opposed to like this chop. This chop was ridiculous over the weekend, like Sunday. These wicks, a new volatile move was setting up. All right, let's look at BTC USD. Biddy is doing the same thing. Pretty sure it is. That looks like a 61.8. It's actually closing above. which is interesting. We might get sent a little higher here, right? It looks like it's doing possibly an ascending triangle, right? Now I've seen some of these in consolidation periods before. I don't want to exclude any wicks unless any price action out of this. I wouldn't say we're out of the chop yet. Let's look at like the 720. Maybe we can just use candle closes. No, one thing that was interesting is these bullish retracements right here, right? The 61.8 held up on BTC, and I had a long, but I closed it like early because I didn't have faith in it. It's looking interesting. Now, if we do break up and we keep going up, then I think we'll know if we're gonna stay bull or not at that major 61.8 at 52K, right? I've said this, and I've tweeted this before, that we could get up to 52K and still not be technically bullish, right? So that would be like the extreme high of where I think we could bull trap to until we test this zone. It'll be interesting. But more interestingly now is we saw a 61.8 up, right? A 61.8 bullish retracement. So what happened was we had a sell-off, we had consolidation above it, and then now it's continuing up. And inversely, the bearish retracement, price is above it. So we could see continuation. We could. I'm not going to bet on it super big. And if we extend these fibs a little more, cover more of the swing, right? Where does that put us, right? I think we saw these, 3 little bull traps above the 61.8 previously. So it's 50-50. I think ETH is a little bit more tradable right now because I do have a down target for it based on that wedge. And yeah. All right. Now, moving on. I'm going to cover the S&P, so ES futures, and then we're going to cover NQ, and then we'll take a look at a few alts. So, ES1. What did I do? You guys in Discord, I posted yesterday that like we're going to see the Fed throw some liquidity in here, and we're going to see a turn, right? And I said we're probably going to see something to boost confidence, right? So we've seen these before. We saw this during COVID crash when Trump came out and said we're banning flights from mainland Europe, right? That was like, he said that, and then the Fed started throwing liquidity in the market. Now Trump, yesterday comes out and says something along the lines of, oh, we're going to ban Russian oil. Right? Like that does anything. That makes inflation worse. Makes everything more expensive. So, but it's kind of a confidence move that the people in the administration's aware and they're trying something, right? So I think that's what we saw yesterday. Another thing that was interesting is, we getting that MA bounce once again, and we could be setting up to go in a little bit of a run. I posted the UPRO calls that I'm in, right? And we've seen some double bounces on this moving average previously, right? And usually, like, this is my buy the dip MA, especially on the daily. And yeah, so we could see a relief rally, and you could see a relief rally probably into a higher high. Not a higher high than previous, but like maybe we can take out this high and this high. If we're gonna bull trap, I think we do something like that, and then bull trap up here, and then chop out some more. That's what I think the ideal scenario is, and I tend to like those liquidity scenarios, right, where we punch out new highs and new lows and break trend lines, because I like trading those, right? Like I think we can get up to 46.52, just squeezing all the shorts, right, and then maybe continue down. So that's my outlook. But before I get too ahead of myself on this, we do have the smaller swings, and we did clear the small 61.8 where the chart got stuck yesterday. We cleared yesterday's high, right? 42.53. I think the next one's going to be probably a little higher, like 4,300. Ideally, we want to see 42.95 get taken out by bulls and just like a push up, right? Like 45 would be great. All right, that's what I have for the ES. Let's look at NQ, and then I want to cover Luna. I think NQ is a little struggling on MA wise, right? It's not looking just like the ES, but tech's been sold off to crap, right? So we can see squeezes, we can see like really good volume coming to this market, right? Because it's been dry. There's been no buyers. Problem is we're below that MA, but these charts are different, right? QQQ is a lot more volatile than the ES. And I mean, we saw something similar during COVID. And in terms of extensions, this was beyond liquidity injection levels, right? Like this looked like the S&P during COVID. So I think buying the dip is like almost better risk return than shorting this low at this point, right? Like this was COVID crash, and the extension we saw now on the NQ is worse, right? It's more extended off that previous range, right? So that just tells me that we should see some kind of liquidity come into the market, not liquidity, but volume, some liquidity injection come into the market and just squeeze on up, right? If I tell you guys the TQQQ calls I have for next month, you're going to be like, you're stupid. But, I mean, I like those kinds of risks. All right. Let's talk about Luna. And before that, if we're going to top off on this run on the QQQ, which we could, and I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. It's trying to stay objective, right? I think this run can top off at 13.892. So I'm just going to set an alert there. I want to talk about Luna, and then I'm going to cover Licy, Licy. It's a stock with everything happening right now and commodity prices and material costs. It's going to affect the EV space. You know, materials coming out of China and Russia. I think it's a good pick. The chart looked bottom. I talked about it like last month. Let's cover Licy real quick. So I like the daily chart, right? It's definitely extended down far enough for some kind of turn, right? Some kind of pivot. It's kind of doing this descending, broadening wedge. We have an A, B, C, D. Maybe that's our E wave because it did extend the right amount. So now we're seeing volume come back in. They do have an earnings coming up. I mean, I'm trading this a year out, so got time. When is it? March 17th. So that's next week. Yeah. This year's going by fast. It's already March, man. Q1's almost over. All right. Moving on. Let's look at Luna. Still ripping. Unbelievable. New all-time high. It's almost going parabolic again. And I was kind of wanting to see it go a little lower for a liquidity grab, especially after the listing. I mean, I did signal this. I made a trade idea on this with like really bullish projections before it even started moving to the upside, right? Like, so hopefully whoever got in on this, even spot or leverage, you still have some of that long open because you got in at 51 and it's at 102, right? So on things like that, you kind of want to let the chart keep trading, keep going. You can kind of see like 76 was support. Man, I should have just came back to this chart when it was dipping. It was perfect support, right? Perfect support off 71, perfect support off 76, great breakout off 84. and we saw 96 turn into support, and we saw 10. We're seeing 102, 104. All right. So you guys want the blueprint on Luna? You know where to find it, and it's free. I can't even remove it off TradingView at this point. But I did think we bottomed on this chart, right? And now it's getting sent. So where's the next resistance? Super interesting. It's right here. All right. I'll drop you guys a link to it. Make sure to smash that like button on that Luna chart. Help us out on TradingView. Let the algo help us. All right, now I'm taking requests. So whatever you guys want to hit me with, show me some requests. I'll cover your charts, ETA requests. You got Fib questions. Do like some 5 minutes of requests. If not, I'm just gonna wrap up the stream and head on back to my battle station behind me. A lot of movers today. Anything, going once, going twice. All right, guys, thank y'all for tuning in to today's stream. Sorry I took a few days off. I needed it to reset, needed to get a grip on the market. I don't want to get up on stream and say things I'm not confident of, right? And so that's why I did it. I needed some time to reset and to get perspective. And yeah, so thanks for tuning in. I'll catch you all on Friday, same time, same place. I'll be here. I won't ghost y'all again. And yeah, anything, hop into Discord, join Discord. I was active there. I'm always active there. You can DM me if you need anything. And hop into Discord, ask for a guest pass, and I'll see you there.